Hello and welcome to another gameplay video of Magic the Gathering Arena. I am Luis Diaz and you are tuned in to Learning the Gathering. As always, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch my videos and watch my content. I always appreciate it. If you enjoy what you see, then feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and share the videos with anybody that you think might also enjoy the content. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this video. Last video I said that I would play the mill deck, and believe me, we are going to use the mill deck. But I also said that that deck was a little weak. It had a bunch of zero strength monsters like blockers and stuff, a bunch of 1/1s and like 1/2s. So I actually went back and looked at the deck and made some adjustments, and one card that I suggest if you have a deck that you think just isn't strong enough, like it focuses more on spells or ramp, and the creatures themselves really aren't that strong unless they get the right synergies going. If you have a deck like that and you can't find monsters in the color that you're going for, like if you're running mono red, you look through all your red creatures, you can't find what you're looking for, this is a card that I highly suggest. It's a rare, so if you don't have it, you're gonna have to spend some rares to get them. I run 3 in most decks that need a little bit of a boost. And that card is Crystalline Giant. And we're going to go over this card because there's a lot of text here, and it's a really effective card. Like it's Alright, let's just get into it, right? It's Crystalline Giant. It is colorless. I'm not sure if it's actually colorless or if it's just generic mana. Is it the same thing? But you could cast it for 3 mana, 3 of any mana, so you can literally throw this card in any deck, right? And as long as you have 3 lands on the field or 3 sources of mana, then you can cast this, right? So you can put it in any deck. That's one good thing about it. Secondly, is let's just read the text, right? At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't have on it. And that happens itself. The game does the whole random thing, so you don't have to worry about, how you're going to pick it. It just automatically assigns one to this card. Right? So you get to, well, you don't get to choose from, but it could gain any of these counters, right? It could gain flying, first strike, death touch, hexproof, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, vigilance, or a +1/+1. So that's 10 different counters, right? I'm fairly certain that that's every type of like counter that you could have in the game, aside from like +2/2s and 3/3s and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure this covers all the bases, right? So at the beginning of your combat on your turn, right, you get one of these randomly, right? But that's every turn. So every turn at the beginning of your combat, Crystalline Giant gets another effect added to it, right? So if you can last 10 turns without this thing being wiped off the field, it will gain all those benefits. Lifelink, death touch, flying, it will gain every single one of those, right? So you can see how that alone is effective, right? But now let's say people have experienced Crystalline Giant before, they know what it's capable of, and they try to spot remove it, right? Well, if you get this thing out onto the field without it being counterspelled or anything like that, like you get it onto the field and you make it to your combat phase, and it gets hexproof on that first turn, well, now it's pretty much just covered, right? Because it's a 3/3 body, so it's not the weakest thing in the world. It's actually pretty solid. It has hexproof now, so it can't be targeted by abilities or spells, right? So now this thing just, unless you block something intentionally that can outright kill it through damage, like this thing is set. Like you're good. You have a 3/3 monster that can't be destroyed because it has hexproof. So I mean, and then even if you have something on the opposite side of the field, like your opponent has something with death touch, you just really have to wait until this, you keep passing your turns, you keep going through combat or whatever, and then you just have to keep waiting for the turn that this thing gains first strike, because now you have first strike, you can block that death touch creature, and you don't have to worry about getting killed. So this thing is just all around a solid card. You cast it for 3 mana, so it's not that expensive, but it's not that cheap, but it's not expensive. And as long as it stays alive, every turn it gains one of these effects, and eventually it's going to have all the effects. And there's been plenty of matches where this thing has, where I've put them out on the field and they have flying, death touch, vigilance, hexproof, first strike, and they're still fucking alive. and it's just a great card to have. Like I said, I have 3 copies. In the decks that I do use Crystalline Giant, I always run 3 copies, and that's only because I don't have 4 yet. So if any of your decks need a boost, like in the offense department, or really any department, if you need a flyer, all that stuff, Crystalline Giant's your card. And if you haven't looked into it yet or played with it yet, then check your library, see if you have it, and I suggest you put it into some decks. Don't just throw it into any random deck that you have, you know what I mean? Like if you have a deck that's functioning on all cylinders, then just leave it alone. But if you have a deck that needs some firepower and you just don't know where to look for it, try Crystalline Giant, and I guarantee you, you will be impressed with what you get. And like I said, if it gets hexproof the turn that you put it out, you go to your combat phase and it gets hexproof like right off the bat, then it's pretty much not going anywhere unless you know, intentionally block it with something that's going to kill it right away. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the mill deck. We'll show you what it can do. Yeah, I thought that explanation of Crystalline Giant would take a little longer, so it looks like we still have time to run 2 games at least. And I may or may not have ran out of packs to open. I hope I didn't. I think I still have 1 at least. We'll see. We might be able to play a few more matches because I'm fairly certain some of these people are going to quit once they see the mill theme going to work. And you know that turn 2 Rune Crab is coming, baby. For anybody that's watched my videos before and they've seen me play black, fuck, I screwed that up. Sequencing is a thing. Because what I should have done is played Ruin Crab, then threw the land out. But I was too busy talking. And this is a little annoying, but I've done this to people before. Just straight control with black. Using the same cards, eliminate, deadweight, like right there, I saw that deadweight coming. Like I've played my version of whatever deck he's using before. So it is what it is. So that's 5 islands out on the field. We have another one coming up next turn when we draw. So soon enough we will have Kiora Best the Sea God out on the battlefield. Attack. If I didn't know any better, I would say that Whoever this is has seen my deck list somewhere before. Thanks to him sending all these cards to the graveyard, we can cast this twice. I would like to know what he's sitting on over there. Because that's 2 turns in a row that he's left his whole mana pool untapped. Azula, come on. My dog getting a little crazy over there. So he's already down to 29 cards, so even though like we really haven't gotten the ball rolling the way I would like with Ruin Crab out and Teferi's Tutelage, I mean, these cards by themselves are doing the job. Nor have we drawn a Crystalline Giant. And he's sending cards to our graveyard still, which is going to let us use Sweet Oblivion again when we get one more in there. Coulda, shoulda attacked there. And that should be game. Nice. He's still doing his thing. Oh no. So this is looking like a dub. Beautiful. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Now it has hexproof, so it can't be targeted by creatures, right? I mean by spells or anything like that. So now we just have to not block it with Massacre Worm, so it won't get killed, you know what I mean? And then that's it, that's a wrap. Let's get that Scorpion out of the way now. I know what'll happen. He gains 2 life, I lose 2. But that's fine. That's fine, because we're still good. Actually, I messed up. Oh well. I should have left it alone. Played defense, because now Crystalline Giant's the only thing that can block, and it has to block, because if I let that thing through, we lose. But that's okay. I'm just not paying attention. And there's that. Okay, so maybe we're not gonna win. Wow, that was a good turnaround. I don't know what to do. What? Wow, this is... Huh. This sucks. Fucking nice. Wow. No. Alright, you know... I mean, we could have won that. I'm just really not paying attention right now. I got a lot on my mind. So it's looking like this is going to be a 2-part video. So if this video does cut off during the next match, I will keep recording, and there will be a part 2 to this video. I'll post them at the same time so you can just watch both. So if this video cuts off, don't think it was like that's the end of the video, okay? I will post both part 1 and 2. So yeah, for anybody that is watching this, maybe you didn't read the description or anything like that, so yeah, just don't worry about it. There's going to be a part 2. So let's jump into this match. And I will pay more attention to this match. Good hand. Alright. Since we can't play Rune Crab with a land this turn, we're going to play it second turn. That way we can play it and throw down a land. And for now, We'll play this one. Nice. He might have shock. But shock isn't enough to kill Room Crab anyway. So we should see a lot more milling going on in this one. Nice. Wow. That was really aggressive. He would have had 3 of those in his hand. Because we milled 2 in a row. Plus the one he just played. Okay. Beautiful. So we're gonna use Wind Robber to block and then sack him. Or not. Alright, 21. I think we will be able to mill this person to 0. That's okay. Beautiful. We're gonna mill this person. One card, that's it. Unless they can pull out some crazy combo here. It's not gonna be enough.